In this episode, we're going to talk about being careful who you listen to. At 17 years old, I made a decision that I was going to try out for the SEALs, right? I made a decision that I was going to become a Navy SEAL. And I'll go into how that all took part in another video, but this was the main thing. When I decided to become a Navy SEAL when I was 17 and I started telling my parents and I was telling a couple of friends, I was met with a lot of resistance. I remember I had standing at the counter in my kitchen and I had received a couple of these letters from different universities. And I had received some scholarships to go to university for architecture and industrial design. And I was getting ready to fill out this paperwork, and my parents were so proud of me of achieving this and getting these scholarships in this big program. And I remember just looking at the paper and being like, I just can't do this, right? And there's a whole backstory to that. But when I made that decision that I wasn't going to go to college, that I was going to join the military, right? The immediate thing that happened was all these people just started hammering me and chopping me down and attacking me. And they thought they had my best interest in mind as they were doing it. You know, my parents were sitting here and they were like, man, what are you doing? You have scholarships to these universities for architecture. Like, your father was an architect. Like, you could take over his business. You know, this is not a good long-term plan. Like, you're throwing away all these great opportunities that you have before you. Not everyone gets scholarships to colleges. Like, why would you do this? You're going to throw this away for the military? What are you doing? And I'm like, well, this is what I want to do. And, I really am intrigued by the SEAL program. And they're looking at it from a standpoint of also, well, hey, let's look at the SEAL program. Like, what are the odds? Like, we have a guarantee that you're going to go to this university and get this scholarship. There's no guarantee that you're going to make it through the SEAL program. Do you know how many people try out for the SEALs and don't make it? What makes you think that you can go do that? I had countless people telling me, man, do you know how many people quit that? So many people quit that. So many people don't make it. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, I get what you're saying. But how many people quit college? And you're going to college. How many people quit sports teams during tryouts or, quarter of the way or halfway through the season? But you still play sports. How many people quit on relationships? How many people quit on marriages? But do you still get in relationships? Do these people still get married? So just because people quit buds, you're going to try to tell me not to go? That's not a legitimate reason for me, right? If this is something that I want to do, just because someone else quit on it, what does that have to do with my intentions, or what does that have to do with my future experience, or why should I let that dictate my decision-making process when those people aren't me? And I'm not a big guy now, obviously, right? But in high school, at this point in time, I was about 147 pounds, maybe 153 pounds on a good week. So the people who were around me, who knew I was a tough kid because I had been Thai boxing for 4 years and I was a scrapper and all that stuff. But when you think of the stereotypes of the Navy SEALs, at least in my town in New Jersey, where there was no Navy SEALs really, everyone's like, dude, these guys are freaking jacked. These guys are amazing athletes. Like, no offense, Rich, but you're not that big. You're not like, you're too skinny, man. All these SEALs, they do all this stuff in cold water and, these people get hypothermia and all this stuff. You're going to go out there, you're going to freeze. You're going to go join the Navy and you're going to quit SEAL training and you're going to wind up chipping paint for 4 or 5 years. And you're going to give up your opportunity for your scholarship. So I go to school and I tell a couple of my friends, and some of my friends are like, yeah, dude, you're pretty crazy. And if someone was going to do it, it would probably be you. At the same time, you probably have a better chance going to Hollywood and becoming an actor or something than you do, making it through the SEAL training. So again, even with my friends, this is my close family and my close friends, I met resistance. The people who weren't my friends, obviously, they're like, oh yeah, this kid's an idiot. That's to be expected. But with my close friends and family, they think that they're looking out for me. And this is what's so important here. I'm getting hammered and hammered and hammered by all these people with all these opinions. And that's what's really important here. These are opinions and assumptions. None of these people who were talking to me about this were coming from the perspective of, hey man, I know someone who's a SEAL, or I've been a SEAL before, or I've gone through this training, I've experienced this training, and this is what you need to know, and this is why I'm saying to you what I'm saying. Unlike that, these are people who go, I don't know much about the military, I don't know much about the SEAL teams, I just know that you can't do it. So I wasn't taking that as a legitimate answer. So I started talking to one of my brothers, and I was like, dude, I'm just getting hammered by everyone. Maybe this is a bad decision. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe I don't know what I'm getting into. And my brother was like, hey, you know what? There's one kid I went to high school with, this dude Matt. He was a SEAL, and he made it through SEAL training. Why don't I see if I can get him on the phone? You could talk to him and see what he has to say. I'm like, dude, that would be awesome. I was a little bit nervous. You know what I mean? The SEALs have been built up into this like really big thing for me, and I was like, oh man, I hope I don't say anything stupid or whatever. But I remember I get on the phone with this guy Matt, and I'm like, hey Matt, and he's like, hey, you're Tony's little brother? I'm like, yeah man, you know, I'm looking into going to the SEAL training. I've looked into it, I can meet all the requirements, but dude, I'm getting hammered by everyone, and is there something I need to know, because everyone's telling me that this isn't something I can do. And this is what Matt said to me. Matt goes, look dude, everyone who shows up on that beach in Coronado, right, where the SEAL training is, everyone who shows up on that beach, everyone's just a man like everyone else, right? If you want it bad enough, you'll make it. There's no magic here, right? There's no, he's like, I've seen guys of all different shapes and sizes make it through the training, and I've seen guys of all different shapes and sizes quit during the training. There's only one way to find out. And he's like, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And I'm like, all right, got it. That's all I need to know. That's all I needed to hear, right? He didn't tell me, hey man, you're definitely gonna make it, you're awesome, and try to pump me up. He just said, if you want it, you can do it. He put the ball back in my court. And that's what I wanted. I'm like, let me decide my fate. Don't you tell me what I'm gonna do with my fate, right? And this is what's really important. So my parents, amazing people. And when it comes to business, right, I listen to them. I listen to them now. I haven't always listened to them when it comes to business stuff. But what's happened is all the years where I didn't listen to them, almost every single time on business stuff, they have been right? Now, when they give me advice on business stuff, I'm a little bit more quick to react and listen and take their advice, because I've done it the hard way and realized that they know what they're talking about. But when it came to this, they didn't know. They're not familiar with the SEAL teams were. They don't know anything about the military. They didn't know about the Navy, right? So for me to take their advice on this specific topic, I have to weigh it. The kids in high school, they're my age. They've had the same general experiences that I have. None of them had been in the military. None of us were old enough yet. So where are they getting the information? Where are they drawing these assumptions and opinions, or these, you know, this information in general that they're trying to coach me and guide me through this process when they don't have the information? So my advice to you is this: when it comes to taking on a project, chasing a goal, developing a vision, you know, and trying to move forward to get what it is that you want, or go to do what you want to do, find the people who have been there and done that. When I try to take on a new task or reach a new goal, I look to people who have already done that and completed it, or are well on in the process of completing it. And those are the people on that specific topic that I look to for advice. Because otherwise, you're going to have people who are giving you advice on things that they're not legitimately able to speak on. Right? So be very careful who you listen to. And again, I'm not saying don't listen to your friends and don't listen to your parents. It depends on the specific topic. So safeguard your mind and safeguard who you allow to influence your decision-making process when it comes to something this valuable like your dream and vision. Go chase your goals.